I love great conversations. Hi, my name is Angel Jones. Thank you for joining me on 12-minute convos where I help you create a brand of your own unique, real self. Listen in as I have conversations with amazing people from all over the world. Good day, Mat Bradley-Tschirgi. How are you going on this wonderful, beautiful day?
Doing well. It's before work, about 6:30 in the morning over here Pacific time. So have my morning coffee and getting ready to go. So yeah.
Okay, all right. Well, I'm glad that you're there. Did you say exactly where you are? You just said Pacific time, right? Where are you?
Oh yeah, sure. Portland, Oregon.
Oh, there we go.
Lived here about 11 years. So.
Oh my gosh, it's cold now, isn't it, Matt?
It is. It's not, we don't get snow here normally, but it's been a cold winter, so we'll see. We had snow last year and there was a blizzard for 1 week, and that was only 8 inches of snow, but that's a lot for here. We don't have the infrastructure to take care of it.
Yeah.
But right now, no snow, no rain, just cold.
It's cold.
So.
All right. Well, Matt said it wouldn't be right if I offer the others that spoke of the coldness and not offer you that email that I have in draft mode with Caribbean warm sunshine. I can always send it your way. Yeah?
Yeah. I've been to Puerto Rico, but never been to the Caribbean. So
you know what I mean, right?
No.
Well, Matt, please do tell us which of your talents is responsible for us connecting at this time.
Sure. I've been my podcasting pretty much been podcasting since 2005. So
wow, that is like right at the cusp of when Apple took in podcasting, right?
That's right. I real quick, I remember when I started, I put a website, put some MP3s. The first podcast I did was called Do the Mario, and it was video game music. And I would talk between the music, and I put a few MP3s up, and I thought, oh, there's a podcast, and someone had to tell me, no, you have to make an RSS feed, and so I had to do that from scratch. I didn't know about Libsyn or Podbean, or I don't even think some of those existed back then.
Yeah.
So
it didn't. You're correct. It did.
Okay. So so it's come a long way since then, certainly.
Yeah, it was definitely. Wow, that's amazing. So hey, honor to you. Salute to you as well for being one of those long-standing podcasters. So did the Mario music go like da 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 da? Did it?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's intriguing. So who did you learn the skill of what was necessary to even jump into the computer world at that point in time?
So I would say it started with I went to college, Savannah College Art and Design in Savannah, Georgia, and I did a radio show happened to be on video game music as well, but I wanted to keep that going as an online show, and the microphone I had was a $5 clip-on microphone I got from an ex-girlfriend. Wow. It was the worst equipment possible. My shirt rustling in every second, but I made it happen. I knew some web design, and it was a combination of those skills that allowed me to put it together. But it was certainly much more difficult than it is now. It was before smartphones too, so much has changed.
Wow.
Since in 11 years, I guess, or 12 years.
Yeah, in 12 years, yeah. 12 is definitely our number, our favorite number here. Yeah, so you could say 12. And if anything you want, you could say 12, even if it's not. I'm joking. But it's fascinating that you've gone through the bumps that would have occurred, right? The hurdles, and still you're yet podcasting. Why will you continue now?
It's fun, and I can't imagine not doing it. I did, take a break when, let's see. I started in 2005 in Atlanta, Georgia. I moved to Portland, Oregon, where I still live now, in 2007. And I took a break for about 2 years. I tried a few different show ideas. I recorded maybe 1 or 2 episodes, different concepts, and couldn't find one that I liked. And I decided to start one with some friends from college called Sequelcast, looking at films in a franchise, one movie at a time. That went on for 5 years. Then I took a break, did one on looking at a TV show, The Critic, a cartoon from the 90s, episode by episode. And now Sequelcast is back as Sequelcast 2. And that's been going on. We're about 40 episodes into that one. Sweet. So that one should still be going. Sweet. So yeah, it's been a long journey, different things. But if I was, I guess, to give advice to people, get a co-host, do it with a friend. You can do it over Skype and record all that thing very easily. And that keeps you going more than just doing it by yourself, which I found sort of a lonely experience. And part of I like listening to talk radio, and it's fun to hear people talk, and it makes your show more interesting and makes it more engaging, I think, for your listeners.
Yeah, it's like eating hot wings. Like, who wants to eat hot wings by themselves,
That's
right? Yeah.
Yes. It's a very sad hot wing indeed.
Yeah. Well, tell me one other thing that you've done consistently over the last 3 years.
I would say get up 30 minutes earlier in the morning to have time to work on my hobbies, whether it's podcasting or writing or what have you. It's I would always used to complain I don't have time, and then I was been reading sort of Successful Habits of Successful People and some of those books and interviews, and everyone seems to get up in the morning, and I'm a morning person anyway, so I'm willing to sacrifice 30 minutes extra of sleep to have some quiet time to myself on the computer for my hobbies. And I feel like I've been able to get a lot more accomplished that way.
How does it make you feel?
Happy. I like it. I enjoy, if I could do my hobbies all day, I would, but I need to pay the rent and everything, and I enjoy my job as well. But no, it's good.
Yeah.
It's a positive development.
I think it would be intriguing to hear a podcast based on your hobbies. Like, I'm just painting a picture here, but hobbies that I do 30 minutes before attack. It sounds intriguing. I could imagine the people that would pop up on that, right?
That's a good idea. Yeah, maybe I'll think about that.
Yeah, it should be fun. That definitely would be fun. And you could do it 30 minutes before in the morning, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
mean, that's
great.
part of why I was intrigued by when you reached out for me to do this interview, is that it was so short. So it's nice when you can have like a compact experience instead of and 2-hour podcasts are fine, but short is good too.
Yeah, I mean, you could only listen to a 2-hour podcast in 2 hours, right?
And then you listen when you drive to work, and then you get back in the car and you forget what they were talking about. Yeah.
This way, hey, with the attention span of what we are created to be now with advertising, this helps, right?
Sure. Yes.
Yeah. Well, why would you suggest to someone that's out there, Matt, that they do what you've done by really understanding what is their reality, but still ensuring that they get the thing that they love doing done?
I would say it. I'm a big believer on schedules and checklists, and I've been a big fan of a book by David Allen, Getting Things Done, and I use a checklist app on my computer. I happen to be on a Mac right now, but I think Things is the one I use, but there's a lot of free ones out there. And I will put my hobby stuff I work in the morning on there, and I sort of look at that when I first get on the computer, and it gives me some more focus. Because it's very easy to go on the computer and then you go to Google or go to a news website or Twitter and you waste time. And wasting time is fun, but when you're trying to get your little projects done, it's good to be sort of focused and have a sense of direction.
Love it. Well, amazing audience. Again, we are live with Mat Bradley-Tschirgi, and you could definitely connect with him at Sequel 2, right? The podcast.
Yeah, Sequelcast 2. Yep.
Sequelcast 2, right? Where's the website we can connect with you?
The website is Sequelcast 2, so the number 2, sequelcast2.podbean.com. And then on Twitter, I'm at MATWBT.
There we go. All right, Matt. Well, let's switch gears for a moment now, and let me invite you into my time machine that is surrounded with beautiful, warm, blue Caribbean water. Matt, what is your earliest childhood memory?
Earliest childhood memory is I would have been about 3 years old. My golden retriever dog, Mandy, had 10 puppies we had in the garage. And just the smell of the puppies and eating the food, and they're eating their food was rice and milk or something. And I'll say that's my earliest memory.
Wow. Why do you think this memory is so clear?
It involves all the senses, I think, and we always have had a pet in the house, but having that many pets, a dog and the puppies, and we gave them all little names, even though we sold them all. I remember one was named Spider-Man. I don't think I remember the other ones, but it just was a nice family moment. And also in the garage, it's a garage, so it's, even though it's in the house, it's concrete floor. I don't know, maybe something that had something to do with it. Just very sort of primal, very basic environment.
Intriguing. How old do you think you were?
3.
Why do you think? Okay, so wow, it's amazing how your brain works. Usually I ask how old do you think you were, right? But I've done this so many times that I actually went directly to saying, why do you think this memory is clear? Even though I did say that before. Isn't that intriguing?
It is. And for me, I have a good memory of, my long-term memory is pretty good. My short-term memory, you might tell me to buy groceries and I'll forget what I'm buying when I get to the store. My short-term memory is very bad.
Yeah.
But when I was younger, I lived overseas for 6 years. And so I have pretty clear memories of that because of moving around a lot. And at that point, when I was 3, I lived in Guatemala.
Well, can I offer an interpretation to the thought picture you created in
Sure.
my mind? I love the idea of the value of your hobbies and how they can multiply so much more happiness. So much more happiness, because at that time, your pet would have been your hobby, right? And to see, to see your hobby just multiply into 10, right? 10 more is pretty intriguing. And I love the naming of the hobby, right? Which is Spider-Man. I love Spider-Man. Yeah. Well, Matt, if we fast forward to when you were 12 years old, what was your favorite song?
Oh, favorite song, 12. When I was 12, I was listening to a lot of Weird Al Yankovic.
Right.
So comedy music. I would say the favorite one was a song, You Don't Love Me Anymore, which it's sad but funny at the same time. And I think around that time, my parents were starting to go through a divorce. And so I would... I think looking back on it now, probably listen to it as a coping mechanism, but it's I like it was a mixture of funny and sad, and it was one of his songs that was not a parody, was not making fun of another piece of music.
It's amazing how it connects, isn't it? Now that you look back.
Yeah. Even at the time, you don't realize, you think it's a coincidence, but
truly.
Who knows?
All right, Matt. Well, we've arrived at our destination now, but before we get off of this time machine, there is a small declaration form. So it's yes or no, possibly a bit more. We're going to move pretty quickly here. Are you ready, Matt?
I'm ready.
Matt, have you chosen someone to pass on your skills to?
No.
Are you married?
Yes.
Do you have children?
No.
Do you believe in God?
No.
Do you have an inner circle of friends?
Yes.
Do you watch TV for more than 3 hours a day?
No.
How about 3 hours a week?
Yes.
What about screen time, the phone and or the computer? Is it more than 8 hours a day or less than 8 hours a day?
More.
If you had to share with us your own unique real statement, a statement that represents Mat Bradley-Tschirgi, what would you say that is?
Yeah, I guess I would say just, it's an old expression, but I like it. It's, keep on trucking.
Yeah.
So you got to keep on working.
Yeah, love it. Matt, this has been a great pleasure. Before you leave, is there anything else you'd like to share with our amazing audience?
I would just say, keep on doing what you're doing. I think this is such a fascinating project, and are you going to turn it into a book or something? It sounds like it could make an interesting read, or something to look at the transcripts, or just try to see if there's commonalities between what people say when you're asking them these questions.
Yeah, I would like to have a statistician get in here and see.
Oh, right. Yeah,
it would be cool, right?
Cool.
Well, I have no idea what I'm going to do. I like to do things well. I like to force myself now to do things one step at a time, right?
Sure.
So when I get to the end of it, let's see what happens. But most definitely, I can say, Matt, it is truly fascinating how unique we are as individuals.
Great.
Mat Bradley-Tschirgi, thank you for being on what is inspired by 12-Minute Convos with Angel Jones.
All right. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being on 12-Minute Convos with Angel Jones. Stay tuned for more from our advertisers.
Diabetes is a mountain pandemic. It's a disease that's not acute but chronic. Similar to this rhyming method, I have simplified the definition, the signs and symptoms, and the complications of diabetes for both adults and children in my books, Poems for Patients, A Focus on Diabetes, and The ABCs of Diabetes for Children. These books are available on Amazon.com, and for more information, you can visit my website, poemsbyaj.com. That's poemsbyaj.com.